When did we start confusing who we really are with what the world calls success? Somewhere along the line, we let other people's definitions take over. Success is about living a life that feels full and whole, and it became about accomplishments, a stack on accomplishments, job titles, business cards, the hustle that never ends. We confuse success with being overwhelmed. We convince ourselves that if we are hustling 24/7, we're winning. That if we are working from the airport, from the plane, checking emails while standing in line for coffee, then we must really be important. And God forbid we pause to actually enjoy that cup of coffee. Then we carry guilt for even that small breath. That's not success. That's survival dressed up as achievement. Welcome to At What Point, the podcast where we dive into the real, raw, and rewarding journey of personal and professional growth. I'm Catherine, your host, here to guide you through mindset shifts, powerful aha moments, and the resilience it takes to thrive no matter what life throws your way. Whether you're climbing the corporate ladder, taking the leap into entrepreneurship, or just looking for that boost of motivation, you are in the right place. Let's dive in. Just last week, I was talking to one of my clients, and he said something that really struck me. He said, no one ever teaches you how to mourn the corporate life when you finally decide to leave it behind and start your own thing. And he's right, because corporate doesn't just hand you a paycheck. It slowly hands you an identity. At some point, you start to believe you are your title. You become your resume, your accomplishments, your LinkedIn profile. You bury parts of who you really are because they don't fit the box you are in. You stop standing up for what you believe, not because you don't care anymore, but because the system trains you to believe that the name tag, the corner office, or the degree is what makes you worthy. But are we really that? Are we just the job, the credentials, the position? No. We are so much more than the bullet points on a resume. We are mothers, we are fathers, students. We are people who love to laugh, who have a favorite song, who get excited over a good cup of coffee, who dream about vacations in the mountains or at the beach. That's the part of us that get buried when the corporate identity takes over. And that's the part we have to remember when we step away from it. I will never forget my first networking event after I left corporate America. For those of you who don't know, I worked for over 15 years in corporate, climbed the ladder, earned my 2 bachelor's degrees, my master's, and I left all of it behind to open my coaching business. So there I was at this networking event, excited for this new chapter, new city, brand new business cards in hand. I was ready. I was early, prepared, ready to start meeting people. Everything was fine until someone asked me a simple question. He said, "So who do you work for?" And I froze. For years, I had an answer. For years, I've been able to point to a company, a title, a shiny name tag that carried weight. But now, a strip of all of that, it was just me, Catherine Beltran. And I realized in that moment just how much of myself I had tied to someone else's recognition. It was like standing in front of a mirror and having to reintroduce myself to myself. That's what happened when you step outside the circle. You end up face to face with who you really are. Friend, you have to sit down and have a date with yourself. You have to look at the pieces you bury and ask, what do I actually want? Who am I without the corporate badge, without the accomplishments? And I will tell you something. When you start asking those questions, it's uncomfortable because you will notice that not everyone around you will come with you on that journey. The people who love you for your title, for your access, for what you could do for them, many of them disappear. And what's left is a much smaller circle, but it's real. It's the people who see you, not your credentials. And friend, that's why I'm sharing this with you, because this is your life. Yes, it's full of accomplishments, but it's also full of obstacles and challenges you have overcome and moments where you thought you wouldn't make it, but you did. And those are just much a part of you as the degrees and the titles. So please don't forget, you are not just the lawyer, the VP, the CEO, or the customer service rep. You are a human being walking through a journey that's bigger than the job. And if you never pause, if you never stop to look up from the grind, you will miss the view. And I promise you, the view from the top of the mountain is worth stopping for. And if there is one thing I want you to take with you today is this. Success was never meant to be the hustle, the endless to-do list, or the shiny title. Success is remembering who you are at your core, is the freedom to create a life that feels aligned with your values, not just impressive on paper. And that kind of success doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within. So let me ask you, at what point do you let go of the title, the name tag, the resume, and allow yourself to be enough just as you are? Because at the end of the day, your title will change, your accomplishments may fade, but who you are, that stays, and that will always be enough. Thanks for joining another episode of At What Point. I hope today's conversation sparks some inspiration for your journey of growth and transformation. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to visit katherinebeltran.com/podcast for show notes, special discounts on coaching packages, and freebies to help you keep moving forward. And last but not least, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a show. See you next time.